Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoyimla, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakahakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to take the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yahchanan Nawaf, just coming at you with another quick lesson and praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. I wanted to touch on this article with, if you're familiar with this lady, she's older now, she's looking a hot ass mess, but she was a lady that played on Dukes of Hazzard, and that's where you get this, pretty much, Jake came out with that song, Daisy Dukes, because she was known as Daisy Duke, and she made those little bitty ass shorts with your ass cheeks hanging out popular back in the late 1970s, early 1980s. Her name is Catherine Bach, if I'm pronouncing her last name right. Dukes of Hazzard star Catherine Bach still breaks out Daisy Duke's shorts she made famous. So let me get a quick scripture because it's going to be a real quick lesson. I just seen this and I'm like, all right. Shit, damn squirrel behind me looking like he's trying to jump on me. Hey man, what's good? I ain't done nothing to you. Proverbs Proverbs 3. Let's see, our women, they took that style, man, to a whole nother level. Now all of a sudden, here you go in this day and age. We talking how many years now? That was, I think that show came out in 70, 79, like 1980 or so. So, and I think it went off in 1985 or so. So, we talking about, what's that, 94, 2004 would have been 20 years. 2014 would have been 30 years. So this shit, man, that was 40 years ago. That was 40 years ago, and you can see the overall expansion of it. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the more and more raunchier it got over time. So now it's like it's at a point of there's nothing to be surprised about. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to women, you can go out in public and be in a damn Walmart and see a woman in there just pretty much overall in panties, man. Like and walking through there just like nothing is going on. Nobody's saying nothing. And nobody sees it as being wrong. It's just something that's, generally accepted in society now. And if you were to say something to her, you're going to get cussed out. And the law going to be on her side more than likely. So when this first started, you know what I'm saying? It was on the show. This was a very, very popular show. And you had the Confederate flag on top of the car. That was just Esau showing off. And that wasn't spoke of like that then. I think they came out with a newer movie as far as like the Dukes of Hazzard. I think it was a movie, something like that to that extent. But in the movie, they ended up taking that Confederate flag off the top of the car because what they were famous for was jumping these ramps and shit, and that type of shit in the air. I remember the show because I was a little bitty kid back then. I was a small kid, man, when that shit first came out. But it was exciting, you know what I'm saying? We didn't know no better. Growing up in Alabama, it was just kind of like you seeing a fast-ass car. It was bright orange. We didn't know no better about the Confederate flag being on the top of the car. We didn't know no better about, we just grew up in the South and we knew that white people were above us, so to speak. I already had that mindset anyway, because I went to school with a lot of those crackers. And what was embedded in us as children, because I can remember my grandmother, my grandfather would be on the road. I was raised by my grandparents. My grandmother, she had a couple of sayings for us boys. And she was like, she had two major rules for us. She said, don't ever join the white man's military and don't ever bring no so-called white woman to my house. She was adamant about that. That was way back then. That was before, we kind of, before I even knew, what racism really was about. You know what I'm saying? I can remember her saying that though, but she was one of those women that went to church every Sunday. And she believed in the Sabbath because she really thought that, Friday sundown, the Saturday sundown was the Sabbath. She kept that. She wore dresses, and she made all my aunties wear dresses. And I can remember my aunties, me being, us little, they used to have like a school bus come through, and the little kids would sit in the front, and the big school, big kids, high school kids would sit all the way in the back. And I can just, remember my aunties, they was real pretty ladies too. Had a couple of aunties and stuff. And they would always take, they would have like something underneath those dresses. So all they would have to do is take those dresses off, and roll those pants legs down. Because they, I don't know where they was getting the clothes from. But, they knew that my grandmother, she was straight strict on that. She wasn't having that shit. But that was a part of that era, that Daisy Duke, that era of that television influencing, that giving that enchantment, that witchcraft, that sorcery, and pushing it through the TV. And that's when you started to see a lot more women get a lot more raunchier. I remember it, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember all that shit. Now that I'm in this truth, I can remember back, and I can see through the future from back then all the way up to now, like as to how it has progressed, and it has become complete chaos. See? Even a lot with these openly LGBTQ, you got LGBTQ men that dress like that, and have men thinking that they're actually women. And that's why a lot of deletions are going down as far as with them. Because dudes is thinking like, damn, she fine, and then fuck around and find out he got the same plumbing as you. Yeah, that'll set you off, man. But anyway, this is Proverbs 3 and 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. So you're not supposed to envy the oppressor and choose none of his ways. What did our people do? And mainly through our women, you know what I'm saying? Our women start to replicate this lifestyle, of showing their bodies like that. And now here you go in 2024, it's at a point where it's just nothing left to surprise, when you see a woman now, you know what I'm saying? It's like, everybody done seen your woman. Here you go in this day and time, you especially on a celebrity level, you're getting married to a woman that everybody done seen, and possibly in a movie, already doing a sex scene, butt naked. They done seen her ass, they done seen her nipples, they done seen, you're living in a society now where everybody done seen what supposedly belongs to you through marriage. No one's supposed to see your nakedness like that, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to, when I seen this, I'm like, all right, well, because I was praying to the Lord about a lesson to do. And this right here, it came right in. So it says, well, basically all she's going into on here is pretty much they want to do a reboot to this show. And I don't see her doing a reboot, because she is not. She was an okay looking white lady back then, but no, she through. Okay, it says Dukes of Hazzard, which followed the story of Duke boys from Hazzard County, aired from, it was 1979 to 85. So it ran for about 6 years. They talking about a reboot. So I'm assuming she out here acting as if she still got it. I don't know. Okay, so they just going off into the reboot. Now this is what she looked like back then. And she, this was your, other than being a blonde, you know what I'm saying? This was the epitome of beauty back then, so to speak. Because they always had the so-called white woman out here like she was just that shit. And you can clearly see she ain't got no ass like that. But, us being kids and growing up and looking at this shit, you just like, God damn, that was skin that was being shown, though. She had the little bitty tiny waist. She was showing the little, and you couldn't wait for the scenes for her. You had the old ass man, Uncle Jesse. I remember this show, and I was a little kid, but it was popular though. Yeah, Uncle Jesse. You had Bo and Luke Duke. One of those guys is still out here acting right now. I think. I'm trying to think of the one. Anyway, but the whole show was. It was a racist ass show. Here you go. Yeah, here's a picture right here of when they was all young and set, and every show she had on those little bitty ass shorts. And that was pretty typical of your, the so-called white woman coming into her whoredom, so to speak. Because you kind of had those ones that fought against society, Because there was a time, just before this, her mom's, I'm willing to bet you, her mom was a woman that that wore dresses more than likely. You know what I'm saying? And she probably shunned this show. She was probably like, bitch, what you doing? You know, what's going on here? Why are you on the show looking half naked like that? You know, because this, you know, this is coming out of, when you go 79, let's see. Slovakia. Let's get a little, let's put in 1969. Well, let's see. We'll just put in 1969 dress code. So here you go. So 10 years before she started doing that, here's your pretty much overall your dress code. See? Women were in those dresses, but you know, they started to get off into this hippie shit. See? It was this kind of shit that came along. That hippie shit and them damn drugs. Smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much generally all the men kind of dressed like this here. You know? This was your, you know, pretty much your college prep type of look, you know, for even, you know, they kind of bringing that back as far as like, you know, with school uniforms, you know. What's going on with you, boy? Not much. That's Slovakia is my cousin. One of my cousins always driving by. He be way out of town, but he'll drive by it every time. He just like, what up, though? Anyway, but this was your typical dress back then. See? Your typical so-called white person dress. This was 1971. But this was a Catholic high school, so to speak. So Esau, he came from out of, you can start to see, you know, the skirt started to get a little shorter, though, you know what I'm saying? Because these girls never used to have things on above their knees like that. But you can see it changing. You can see it changing, right? And this was your general dress amongst, you know, pretty much, you know, so-called black women and so-called white women. But like I said, see, this is when you start to see them dresses start to get just a little bit shorter. And then I can remember when they came with the mini skirts. Then they came with the micro minis and shit like that. So I remember a lot of this stuff going down. But here you go in this day and age. And when it came to see, this is only 10 years later. Really not even that long. 10 years later, you got a national syndicated show that's being broadcasted to millions and millions of people. What do you think? What did you think the little girls was gonna do once they started to see this lady? That's when you started to see a lot of marriages and shit started to fall apart. See, this was right here was kind of like your fall of America. It was starting around this time, because once your women are out of control, your whole nation spirals out of control. It was millions and millions of little girls that used to watch this. A lot of girls got on the road. They started, running away from home, 12, 13 years old, 14 years old, trying to make it to Hollywood, wanted their dream to go through. And there was a lot of old ass so-called white men picking their asses up off the side of the road, and they ain't never been seen again. Or they got out there, they got doped up. They had to go through all the casting couch and multiple men doing all kinds of nastiness to them. So a lot of stuff came out of this, man. And still to this very day, it's still a cycle from this particular type of dress when this lady done this. See, and you know what? I'm trying to think. This was Warner Brothers, Everett Collection. Oh yeah, this was Warner Brothers, and this was probably more than likely. This was overall probably some. We already know some small hats own this and pushed. Because the small hats are the ones that pushed all the television shows in the 1970s going into the 1980s that pretty much overall ruined America. A lot of those Jewish people, you know, done certain shows like the Archie Bunker show, the Jeffersons, you know, a lot of those real, really, a lot of those shows back then were the shows that really like killed America. Real talk. There was a lot more drug use starting to happen. There was a lot more adultery starting to happen. A lot more divorces started to happen. A lot more baby mama drama started to happen. And then, of course, you know, the so-called white man, he came through with the food stamps, you know, in the Section 8 for the so-called black women. He straight destroyed our families. But what he didn't know was it was going to destroy his as well. So this right here, man. This lady was the shit back in the days. She was hot talk. She was on all the magazines. But like I said, all the women wanted to be like her. All the young girls, they wanted to be like her. 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Tying his shirt up. I can remember that shit growing up. You know, tying his shirt up and shit. They little belly button shirt showing. Older men looking at them. Because them was the ones that was really grasping them up. It wasn't like us. Because we was just kids. Looking like, you know, like, well, hey, you know, we went into nothing. We hadn't come to that point of trying to do nothing. You know, we had little, you know, little touchy-feely little bullshit going on. But no, it was them older guys that was already like, yeah, hey, come with me. You want to ride? Come jump in the truck with me. and started ravishing them little girls, man. But anyway, this is what's coming back, man. I mean, it's coming, I mean, or not coming back, but it's coming into full circle. It's already here, and it's pretty much done played, you know, but it's not really too much more to the imagination. You can't push it no further now. It's like, this right here was like, wow, what the fuck? This was damn near soft porn back in the days. This was like running across a Hustler or a Penthouse magazine or something like that, you know? Because you had them older uncles and older brothers or whatever that was in, you know, they had shit like that shoved underneath their bed mattress. And you kind of, you know, glance and see some shit, and you're like, oh boy, what's that? You know, but you know, that even came in around that time period. Like Hugh Hefner and them. What's that other guy? I think he was in a wheelchair or whatever, that owned Hustler. But anyway, that was all this stuff was starting to play in and come in around the same time, coming out of the 1960s. Going into the 1970s, late 70s, early 80s, and then from there it was just full blown. So now you've gone from this to our women took on that style and took that shit to a whole nother limit, man. Through the hippie age and all that other little bullshit. But now here you go right here. I'm just gonna put in let's put in Rapper with Daisy Dukes. Because I remember the song came out. Them Daisy Dukes song, whoever the fuck them niggas was. They was whack as hell. But anyway. But it was a popular song. Let me see. See? So here you go. Whole lot of pictures of you know, so-called white women. And here you go right here. See, this right here is what really took it over the top. DJ Daisy Dukes bio. DJ Daisy Dukes. Look at her. She took it to another level. She like, fuck that. You know, and you know that's how Jake do though. Jake gonna always turn shit up. Here you go with your girl right here, Megan. This is what we're looking at now. This is what, you know, what we're seeing now. You even had goddamn what's her name? Lizzo. They actually pushing an unhealthy lifestyle like a big ass girl like Lizzo, and trying to make her seem like, and then they telling you that she's beautiful. Not to say that she's an unattractive lady in the face type of deal. I'm talking about they're trying to tell you that she's beautiful from a standpoint of you can be that big and be beautiful. But they're not saying, well, being that big is unhealthy. They're not telling the truth of the whole matter. They pretty much got big ass girls out here, you know, wearing these little bitty ass clothes with their ass out and telling them that they just is fine. No, you're not, man. Anyway, but here you go though. Here's a whole. This is what you're looking at now. I think this was this Black China. You know, just you're gonna see all kinds of pictures in here. You know, it's not just so-called black women, but it's white women, so-called white women as well. I think that right there is what's her name? A weird ass Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying? Like even like right now with Taylor Swift, let's put her in. You know, she wears little provocative outfits and shit like that, you know. But here you go. I mean, this is your typical thing, man. Oh, they got a Wikipedia for this shit. See? But really, like I said, when it straight came down to it, when Homeboy and them came out with the Daisy Dukes song, it was over with. What was that was their name? Deuce? I'm not even sure what them niggas' names was, man. Salakia. But anyway, you get the point. But See, now you got people like Taylor Swift. And see, you so-called blacks, man, y'all get so caught up into, you know, Esau and envy. That's why I brought that scripture out. Let me get that scripture again. Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. See, you're not to want to be like him. You don't want to try and do what he does, because what our people have done by imitating this man, they have pushed that disease onto our people. Now our people are destroyed. You know, now our young women are out here. They don't want to be married no more. They want to move from dude to dude to dude. That's what comes with that. This particular type of lifestyle with some damn Daisy Dukes on, you're generally not going to settle with one guy. By the time our women get ready to settle down, they done been ran through sometimes hundreds of times. And then they'll come across some simp ass dude that'll take them in when they're 40 with 6 kids, you know, by 6 different baby daddies, you know. But overall, it destroys a community. It destroys a nation, man. That's the reason why a lot of these Asian, or even Asians, hell, for that matter, but a lot of those Eastern countries, you know, like those Arabs and, you know, you're like your Taliban and your what they call brutality and the most brutal people on earth. They're savages, but one thing that they do have is some decorum when it comes to their women. Their women are covered up. You know what I mean? No goddamn Daisy Dukes, but even them, that Babylonian juice is even reaching to their shores, because the young women over there, they want to show their asses. Now they want to take off their little head coverings and shit. It was one chick at the Olympics protesting that shit. She's going totally against her culture, and she don't even know why she's going against her culture. She's going against her culture because of America. So-called white man, Babylon the Great, drinking of that Babylonian juice. She don't realize that her culture is far better and far superior to this culture here. But because the so-called white man is playing on the fact that women love attention, and he's pushing it that they should be free and should be able to get the attention that they want, then they falling for it, man. And that's the way that it's going, man. So I just wanted to just touch on this. Now here's I mentioned Taylor Swift, because see, like, you know, see, this is the type of you know, look. She's 30 years old. In this particular picture, I'm assuming. That's if it'll show Slovakia. I think my internet is acting up. Looking like it's about to be another storm coming in. Czechoslovakia. May not be able to get this one. But you can see, you get the point. You see what it is. Here's this lady right here. This is her at age 67, if it'll come back in. I don't know what's going on here. Oh yeah, it's starting to rain anyway. Get from out here. But yeah, you know, the point is made. I don't have to go no further in it. You could clearly see the lady right here. Oh, that was 69 boys with the Daisy Duke song. Slovakia, I remember that. But you can clearly see, like, this is what is next level. You're at a generation of complete degenerates from that particular lifestyle that was pushed on TV back then. And so now it's just like, you know, see, they didn't have the internet then, so just imagine had they had the internet back then. But it was just as popular because people was going to buy magazines. Magazines was real big back in the days. You had to have your daily dose of magazines. You know, a lot of publications that was, you know, you had to really go and get this stuff physically. It was physical. You really jumped in your car, or you know, you caught the train or the bus to the mall or some bookstore or something like that to really get these magazines to thumb through. Then they started coming out with, you know, well, we'll send them to your house. You pay this amount a month and they'll automatically come in the mail. You know, I remember all that shit, man. So this man, he's been pushing information on the people for a long time. And that information has not been good information. It's just like the internet today, you know what I'm saying? They claim that, you know, oh, it's for the better good. But Esau, man, this man, everything he puts together and creates, it really tarnishes a place, man. For real, for real. This is your average American right here. Your average American right here, or average American woman is one of these chicks right here. And don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna just put it on yeah, I see what happened. The internet went out. I'm not just gonna put it on the so-called black woman, because the so-called white woman, hey, she's out here going hard body with it too. It's just that with our women are so curvy and so influential, you know what I'm saying? And you know, hey, they bring, and actually we're the salt of the earth. So that's pretty much what's going on. Our people are the salt of the earth, and all these other nations follow the things that we do. So it's nothing for them to put our men and women out here on the front street, and then that's what the world looks to. And especially amongst our own people. This right here, your Cardi B, your Ice Spice, your Glorilla, your Lottos, your Sweeties, your you name it. It's a gang of them. The only thing they push is negativity on our women, our young women. So they can't help but they in the mirror, man. You might have a daughter that you think is a sweetheart. She just turned 13, 14, whatever, 16th birthday, whatever. And yeah, my baby gets straight A's. She do this, she do that, you know, whatever. But when she closed that door in that bedroom, she gonna hit that camera. She going to that bathroom. She's gonna have that mirror off the door. She got that mirror off the door in her room. She got that mirror off the door in the bathroom. She's gonna show them cakes, bro. So for you to just be thinking that she's not, you are out of you and you know our people not checking no phones like that. That's why a lot of our young women are being trafficked, you know. Because matter of fact, within this year, I think it may have been one autistic boy came up missing for a sec. I think got out of the house or whatever and was just kind of walking and roaming the neighborhood. He came up missing. But man, from January up to right now, in August right now, it's been nothing but 12 to 13-year-old so-called black, what they call them kids, but they young women. Every week is one missing. And then guess what? It'll be like a month later, they'll put a story up like such and such has been recovered. They never telling you where she was or where she been. They never telling you where she been. Well, where the fuck was she at? What happened? What you know? You putting out a picture of her, and you got the community looking for her. You want us to tell you if we see her. Then all of a sudden she pops up and she's safe. Okay, well, all right. You might say, well, the rest is none of our business. But as a community, we should know. Like, how the fuck is all these girls coming up missing, and then all of a sudden they returning home safely after a month, 2 months? Who was they with? Where was they at? It was one set of twins here that was, I think they was like 13, 14. They came up missing. The news caught them on. They was at a motel, and you know, not too far from here. But they was with some grown ass men in their 30s. And guess what they said once their dad was on the news talking about, you know, how he missed him. He wanted him to come home and this and this, but he was working. You know, he was working trying to take care of them. You got two 13, 14-year-olds at the crib by themselves all goddamn day long to just do what they want to do. Oh, that's a problem. You ain't getting nothing good coming out of that. But anyway, once the little girls got found, well, I say little girls, them young women. Once they got found, they was telling the police, well, what if we don't want to go home? We don't want to go home. We left for a reason. And they was trying to figure out, well, like, okay, well, what's the age where they can actually leave like this and it's not, illegal? Because even the dudes that they was with, they was trying to press charges on them. But them little bitches is out doing what they was doing. It just is what it is. So why are you penalizing some dudes that's, you know, just seeing box for box? They know what they into. They already know that. Y'all acting like these are two innocent ass babies. No, these motherfuckers been doing shit for a long time. They're experts at what they're into. You see? So I just wanted to just touch on that for a hot sec, man. Keep an eyeball out on your children. Hey, because matter of fact, let's get this one. And Esau understands, man. Don't think Esau don't know the scriptures. Esau know the scriptures too. Proverbs 22:6, it says, train up a child in the way that it should go, in the way he should go. And when he is old, he would not depart from it. You think these, what is the scriptures talks about teaching the older women. Let's see, older women are supposed to teach the younger women to be wives, man. That's not going down here. Let me see how it's worded, if I'm wording it right, Salakia. Dang on, internet went out. I'm gonna have to reset. It's Salakia. It was Titus chapter 2, verse 3. It says, the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chastity, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed. That's not going on these days. The older women are out here like this. You see this lady? She said she's still with her Daisy Dukes. I see old ass women all the time and shit, man. Old ass women all the time. Like, no, come on, baby. You supposed to, you gotta, come on. When you gonna give up the ghost? They not trying to give it up. They 80. They still trying to wear the same shit that they was wearing, you know. And it's just come on, grandmama, let me fix your hair. And she dealing with the granddaughter. You know that, you know. Mama, you know, they all acting like they fucking went to school together. They all friends. But no, you're supposed to be teaching them to be chastity. You're supposed to be teaching them to be holy. And be keepers at home. How to, you know, dealing with their children. How to cook. How to clean. How to sew something. How to keep a house, man. Nope, not here in this community. Not in this day and time. Not in Babylon the Great. And that's how you know that this place is about to fall. Because that 2 Timothy chapter 3, it goes off into perilous times shall come in the end days. What, you know, where people will be lovers of their own selves. And that's pretty much what you're seeing now. This is what you're experiencing when you're out in public and you see people and they just looking at you, you know, that's where you get a lot of the road rage from. No, I'm first. I need to get there. Fuck you and what you have to do. It's about me. Me. So this is the days and times that you're living in, man. The young ladies are not being taught like this no more. Scripture says to train up a child on the way they should go. So now Esau, he's teaching your kids through the TV. Don't think they're not being trained. They're being trained. It's just not the way that you think they should be trained. This man is actually, he got them in, he's training them to be a part of the LGBTQ community. Training them. Right through his television, right through his music, right through the cell phone that you pay for monthly. You don't know what they're doing. You see all these stories. Yeah, check what your kids are doing. Check what your children are doing. You got little so-called white boys out here committing, they deleting themselves, you know, taking their own lives because they've been sextorted. Sextortion. That's a new word. Sextortion. You know how somebody extorts you, but through sex, you know, the kids sending pictures online. Somebody getting hold of them and blackmailing them for it and shit. You don't come up with this amount of money. We're gonna send this to your parents. We're gonna share it with your classmates. Motherfucker just like, I don't know what to do. And you know, come on, bro. And they're not strong in the mind at that particular time too. So they haven't, you know, had a lot of life experiences. So they're vulnerable, man. But that's Esau, man. That's a so-called white man. You have him to thank for all the bullshit that's going on out here through his TV shows. And you can clearly see this is a seed right here. Seed time and harvest. Look at this seed. This is a seed that was sown way back then. And this right here is your end results right here. And I'm sure she probably got a damn OnlyFans or something. But this is the end results of the bullshit right here. Yep, this is the end results. Now, had this lady lived in this day and time, had she lived in this day and time and still had the little shape that she got right now, she'd be a damn millionaire on OnlyFans. The average little young lady like this now, they get money. And that's all that they thinking about. But it's going to come a point where that shit is not going to be nothing. It's about to become obsolete. Everything is about to phase, man. This whole thing right here is over with. This right here was just the Lord catapulting this place to the point of destruction. So it's pretty much at its end. There's nothing else that can come from this generation, man. You have a whole generation of people that don't want to even, be fruitful and multiply. It's no being fruitful and multiplying out of this. See, the Lord is about growth, man. The Lord is about growth. There's no growth that's about to come out of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man running his kingdom for another 25, 50, 100 years, man. What do you think? What the fuck you think is about to come out of America with this new generation of kids? Ain't shit coming out of this, man, but a bunch of damn chaos, and you clutching your purse and got to have a damn gun on you at all times. That's it. That's the only thing that's about to come out of this. The women will rob your ass, man. The women, I was just kicking it with my neighbor. The other day I was kicking it with him. He went to the Future concert. I'm like, shit, nigga, you playing yourself. 2 bitches up in that motherfucker trying to set him up to be robbed. And he barely scathed through it. See? So this is the generation that you're in, where the women, they either out here, they done went from this right here. Look at this lady. They done went from this right here to having on some Jordans, man. Pull a pistol on your ass and put it in your back and have you walk somewhere, man. These hoes crazy. You can't even trust these women now. Can't trust them, man. That's the reason why we do these lessons, to warn the flock, to warn you brothers and to warn you sisters that we are in the last days, man. This is the end results of where we are. I didn't expect to go this long with this lesson, but we have to do lessons like this, man. We touch on everything by the Spirit. That's it, man. Through the Spirit and power of H.I.M, we're going to touch on everything. Every little thing. This may seem, because the scripture says that, let me get it real quick. In the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and 15, it says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. We're not to be ignorant of any matters, man. See? We're not to be ignorant in seed time and harvest. Because even with America has sown a huge seed of destruction over the past 500 years. Hey, that tree is fruit dropping off the tree. That shit ready to be picked. He can't get around what he has sown in the earth. The so-called white man, the so-called white race, they have sown a lot of wickedness in the planet, and they're starting to reap it, and it's starting to really show is really affecting them now. This is Galatians 6 and 7. It says, be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So Esau has sown wickedness in the earth, so now he's reaping wickedness. He has sown rape, robbery, and pillaging in the earth, and now he's starting to reap those things. He's sown nothing but death, so what do you think is going to come to him? And it's going to happen to them as a nation of people. Let's get that. Let's show that the Lord, he deals with nations. Because he set Esau up. Esau was set up by the Lord. The so-called white man, his kingdom, and the way that he's been running things, that's all been through Yahweh. He can't do nothing on his own. Job 34 and 29, when he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him, whether it be done against a nation or against a man only? See? So the Lord, he deals with nations, and he deals with the individual people within those nations. And when you go to Daniel, Daniel 4 and 17, it says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the bases of men. See, this is a base man that was set up over this kingdom. The Lord, he can give it to who he wants, but he just so happened to give it to this so-called white man, and he's a base man in the earth. You know how we can tell he's a base man in the earth? Because he would produce TV shows with his woman out, with her ass out, and calling them Daisy Dukes and making it popular, and distort the whole, that's perverse. That's perversion. He pretty much perverted his whole entire nation. Well, I would say the continent of America, but it actually started to move on over towards, you know, a lot of other European countries as well after a while. So a wise man, he's not going to push nothing like that on his nation but he's just not going to do it, because he will understand that that's going to destroy us. That's going to cause moral decay. He wasn't looking down the line like, okay, well, the children that are watching her, the young ladies that are watching her, you know, they're going to, you know, go through a lot of hardship. They're going to end up with some abuser. He's going to abuse the shit out of her. She's going to have a couple of children. They're going to grow up and go through the same damn thing. Her daughters, so on and so forth. And then the next generation of daughters, you see? Because that show, this is like, we're talking like 40 years ago. That's like, you know, going, and generations have sped up. A generation used to be about 40 years. But now, shit, you can have a generation, 2 generations within 40 years. An example being, I got a sister. She had a baby when she was 13. And as soon as my niece turned 13, she had a baby. So that was 2 generations out of 26 years. That's crazy. That shit is unheard of, really. But I mean, in the ancient world, I guess it could have somewhat been like that. But in today's time, that's unheard of. And it's all because of the women having that liberty to gad abroad. And then Esau having the woman go out here into the workforce as well. Because there was a time when the women just stayed at home and they took care of the home, and they you know, they cooked, clean, and done things like that, while the man go out and get the money. But once they put that woman into the workforce, and those women started to be around other men other than their husbands, a lot of adultery started to happen. A lot of what they would call cheating. A lot of babies, you know, being born from adultery. A lot of shameful things. And that all comes from the basis of men. Esau, the so-called white man, running the kingdom. Any man with some sense would know that a woman with a husband shouldn't be around another man in a workspace for 8 hours. That's disaster. Because of the way that people are wired. This motherfucker, you going to space, you know everything else. You studying everything. You want everybody to follow your damn science, but you don't. You so goddamn stupid that you don't know that if you put a man's woman around another man for 8 hours a day, for 40 hours a week, you know, 80 hours every 2 weeks, 160 hours a month, you don't think that eventually they're gonna, you know, there could be an attraction there somewhere, a spark, some wanton eye. She's looking, he's complimenting her. You know, men don't give a fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, you married, and see, that's one thing about the Hebrew Israelites. You know, we're gonna ask a woman, hey, you got a man? You married? Oh, okay, all right, cool, all right, well, bet. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can exchange numbers if you don't. But if she's saying that she do, oh, okay, well, hey, just asking, you know. Okay, well, have a good day. And you keep that shit pushing. And she might even be like, well, you know what? Well, we going through some rocky spots. We going through something hard right now. You know, it's complicated. That's one of those words they use. It's complicated. Okay, well, still, you're supposed to be like, you know, well, even though it's complicated, y'all together. You know, it's nothing I can do. So, you know, I was just asking, you know, you're with someone, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to keep it moving. You have a nice day. That's it. You keep that shit moving. You don't let her insist that, you know, well, you know, I'm thinking about breaking up with him. He hasn't been, I haven't seen him in a week. Nah, fuck all that. I don't give a fuck, bitch. I'm out. That's the way you're supposed to do it. Leave it at that. No, but like I said again, you're living in Esau Edom's a society where this man has caused all manner of wickedness to move throughout the earth, man, because he goes against the scriptures. He used the Bible. He says he's a Christian nation, but when it straight comes down to it, he goes against the scriptures, man. And in so many ways. He's running his whole damn entire globe into the ground, man, off of his carnality. He's not spiritual at all, man. So I'm gonna end out there. I just wanted to touch on this. I seen the Daisy Duke lady. You went from, and he's, like I said, coming into a time with these dresses here. Them dresses above the knees, they were starting to get shorter. The next thing you know, you had that mini skirt, them chicks with them white pleather boots on. You know, them goddamn Woodstock chicks. So hey, this place has been in decline for a nice good generation, or two, going on 2 generations. It's been in full-fledged decline, and it's not coming back. So Trump is not going to make America great again, and Joe Biden is not going to build back better wherever the hell he at. You know, so I'm going to end out there. I pray that this lesson was edifying. Kwame Yashala, and a Bible ball.